Well, good evening again, fans. How are you doing this fine evening? It is Divine Fire Studios here, your humble host, Eric Niltowski. Get my phone set up, make sure the picture looks good. Well, hello there. Alright, get my phone set up, make sure all looks good. How are those carrots that you're eating there, Poopfire? So I got some more inking done today on my Wildcats fan art. That's right, Grifter. He's my favorite. Alright, let me see here. Set my camera, my light. Alright, that looks pretty good to me. Cool deal. Well, hello and good evening. I'm gonna do some more inking tonight. Talk some more comics. I will bust out some of my sketches, my concept artwork for the Shadow Sentry for you. And yeah, it will be fun. Sounds like a good diet, Popefire. I can't argue with that. I just had butternut squash spaghetti, and it was delicious. My wife made that. You know, every time she makes it, I'm kind of like, I don't think I'm going to like it, but it's really good. She puts meat in it and just throws it in there, and it's really good. But anyway, so that's what I had for dinner. A little bit of red wine. No carb diet. Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that. Alright, what am I doing? Alright, so I also did some more inking on my Shadow Sentry pick. So I am all warmed up, so I will get going on this. And make sure this looks alright here. So Grifter, Popefire, this whole team is the Wildcats. This is Jim Lee's baby when he left Image Comics back in the 90s. Or I'm sorry, when he left Marvel back in the 90s and when they started Image Comics. Wildcats was the book that Jim Lee did. And so these are all his characters. And Grifter is my favorite. He's the gun-toting character with the green trench coat, red gloves. He actually showed up in the Flashpoint Paradox, if you've seen that. So now that DC took over Wildstorm, they kind of merged, and so Grifter and a lot of the characters from Wildstorm and the Image Days are now part of DC. So you may have seen them. So yeah, so they merged. Jim Lee went over to DC, and all the Wildcats or Wildstorm guys. So like, I don't know if you've seen Deathblow and anything. Who else? There's Zealot. I don't know if she shows up in anything. But anyway, so that's the Wildcats. And yeah, you might see him come up now and again in the DC Comics. So that's that. So, but anyway, this is where I left off today. Got Hadrian, aka Spartan, and Voodoo all done. Yeah, I like him. He's a cool character. He might look a little different too. That's like his 90s look. So yeah, I read one issue of the Warren Ellis Wildcats, and I just couldn't do it. And to the artwork, you know, I grew up with the 90s stuff, and so the artwork to me was like not, you know, reminiscent at all of what I think of when I think Wildstorm or Wildcats, so it just didn't appeal to me. So I've heard people say they like it, but you know, give me a Brett Booth or somebody doing it, and then I'll be all in. But and then too, Brett Booth stinking shot out a picture. Let me show you this. Let me find it. Brett Booth tweeted out a picture that he did. Sorry. I hope this is the right one. Nope. So he tweets out a picture of Wildstorm, and I think he called it Wildstorm Reborn or Rebirth, one or the other. And So I'm like, sweet, they're gonna bring back, you know, all the cool Wildstorm characters and do like a thing for Rebirth. So anyway, I took his image and I inked it and I changed it to, you know, how I like the characters. And yeah, so I was really bummed when I picked up Wildstorm and it's like I don't even know the artist and the artwork was just like, eh. So anyway, I was really bummed. But so I took the time to ink this. Did the nicest job I could over Brett Booth's work. Changed a few things. I gave Grifter his green trench coat and changed Zealot up a bit. Changed Mr. Majestic's face. And then you can see Deathblow back here. That's Catelyn Fairchild from Gen 13. Union. Grail from the Wetworks team. And, alright, Pope Fire, we'll see you when you get back. So anyway, what's up, Inkwell? What's going on? So yeah, I was, you know, give me some old school Wildstorm stuff, man. Don't give me just dumb stuff. I don't know, whatever. I'm sure Warren Ellis is a good writer, but he wasn't doing it for me. And to be honest, I kind of lost track of what was going on with the Wildcats and everything, and the whole Wildstorm universe towards the end there. They did a reboot, and Jim Lee was drawing it, and they got through one issue, and that's when they sold Wildstorm to DC. So, yeah, which brings us to the Shadow Sentry. That's why I'm doing this. I want a cool team that's gonna last long, and just be something you can follow for a good long while. Alright, let me get to my brush. So you'll see I inked Brazen's face there. Finished that up. Got Myth's face going. Started on Deke's face. And so I'll keep going with that tonight. So how you guys all doing? Hope all is well. I'm excited about, it's almost autumn time already. Can you believe that? It's like almost October. Not only is October my birth month, but I love autumn. It's like you go outside and the weather is cool. Got the glowing lights and just the temperature. It's just like, it's magical. I love it. So I'm excited about that. All right. I caught a little bit of fan speak earlier. I don't know if you guys are checking that out or not, but that was some good stuff. On Fanspeak, it's a YouTube channel. They're talking about creators and new Indiegogo projects and stuff like that. So I was checking that out. And Pope Fire is on there, and Chester Busby, and a bunch of those guys. And they're all moderators for like a lot of guys. So it's been fun getting to know everybody. I love the community that we got going on here with Comicsgate. What's up, Lord Assumin? I'm assuming I'm saying that right. I hope that's right. But what's going on? Thanks for joining us. Doing some more inking tonight. My family wanted to do game night tonight. I'm like, let's do it tomorrow night. Because I said I'd be on tonight, and I wanna be on. And if I say I'm gonna be on, I'm gonna be on. And I will spend time with my family tomorrow night. No YouTubing. Alright. So I was contacted by a guy today about, he's an inker, and he said, hey, I heard you're looking for an inker. And I found a guy named Jeremy Reyes on YouTube last night as I was just kind of searching through stuff. I saw a Wonder Woman piece that he was inking, and I was like, whoa, this is, and it was over Jim Lee's pencils, and it looked really good, and I'm like, I've never heard of this guy. And so I was listening, and coming to find out, he mentions Mike S. Miller, who, you know, Mike's an inker, so Mike was telling him about different tools to use when inking and stuff, and so he mentions Mike. And but yeah, so I'm like, who is this guy? And I went on Twitter and I found him, and he's inking David Finch, and like he's inked Ivan Reis and all these big guys. So I'm like, darn. But so I shot him a tweet and I'm like, hey man, do you take commissions and stuff? And he said he did, so I might have to get him to do something for me, because his inks are just like total 90s Wildstorm kind of stuff. So I was loving it. And he used a crow quill, which I don't use. I need to try, but I just use my microns. I fake it, so I hope it looks good to you guys. So, but anyway, so yeah, so a guy contacted me about inking some stuff, so he's gonna do a sample, and yeah, because honestly, if I do the Shadow Sentry, when I do it next year, I'm planning on doing it. I'd like to have a team. I'd like to have I have colorists that I work with all the time, but to have an inker would be really, really valuable, because I am kind of slow, especially if I'm inking. I want it to look good. I'm not an inker as much as I am a penciler, but I do my best. I haven't found a good inker, so I ink my own stuff. But if I had an inker, that would be sweet. So we'll see what happens. That would be cool. Check the light here. Looks good. All right. I caught the end of Gary's stream last night, and somehow I'm in this death match or something with this guy named Rick, who I don't even know. So I gotta start training. I'm gonna start hitting the weights. I'm gonna go get some jiu-jitsu classes. Yeah, I don't know who this guy is, but I gotta get ready, man. Yeah, Gary has some good stuff. I wish California had autumn. I'm used to Boston fall. Well, yeah, but California like has autumn every night. Because even in the summertime, I mean, the night times are cool, like 60 degrees. Sometimes, not all the time. But I think it's the best of both worlds, man. I went to college in Boston. That's where I met my wife. And, yeah, man. And I grew up in New Jersey, so I do miss the winter. But the fall, I think it's not, it's not exactly autumn on the East Coast, but it's close. You don't get the trees and the color for sure, which that's a big part of it. East Coast autumn trees, man, that's magical. But we don't have that. We have the good weather. A lot of bonfires. Yep. That's our family fun thing we do. Bonfires. It was my wife's birthday just the other day, so we had a bonfire. That was fun. Yeah, for you guys who don't know, I went to Bible college in Boston. It was called Boston Baptist College. I went there for only one semester. At the time, I'd finished up art college. I went to the Delaware College of Art and Design. Went for 2 years, got my associate's degree in illustration, and was just kind of like, I don't know, being in that secular kind of environment just kind of made me question, like, do I really want to be in this environment for work? It's kind of questioning and maybe a little frightened. And so, Lord, what do you want me to do? And so I was like, I was like, I could do youth ministry. I could be a youth pastor. So kind of changed courses there for a little bit and went to Boston to Bible college. And my wife, she was there. She's from California herself, but a friend of hers was working at the college. And so that's how she ended up checking it out. And so yeah. But the whole time I was at this Bible college, I could tell the Lord was just telling me to pursue my art. And so that is what I did. So after one semester, I left the school, and kept in touch with my then spouse, or not spouse. We were engaged, so um, yeah. And then we ended up getting married. I moved to California, and then lo and behold, I went over to Lamppost Productions, which was in La Mesa, where we had our first little place there, and I met Mike S. Miller and Brett Burner, starting Alias Comics. So, and I got an internship with them, and Mike took me under his wing, and then I got my first penciling and inking job on a book called Hand of the Morning Star, which is a Christian manga America kind of superhero book, which Mike, Brett did the, it was Brett's idea and concept and story, but Mike wrote it, so they kind of tag teamed a little bit, and so that was my first published gig, and so that was just confirmation for me that I was where the Lord wanted me to be, and yeah, I've always loved comic books, and always loved making my own stories and coming up with my own ideas, and I've got a bunch of them, but so here I am, I with this Comicsgate movement, and knowing Mike, and it just seemed like the perfect opportunity and time to bring out the Shadow Sentry. So, and for those of you who haven't heard about it or know what it's about, it's basically a what if kind of story. What if you had a near-death experience, and when you came back from the other side, you had powers that you brought with you from the spiritual realm. And so this is the team here, Shadow Sentry, and these guys have all gone to heaven, and they've brought back these supernatural powers, and they have been chosen to fight the Dark Ones. They are called the Hellborn, and yeah, so it's kind of like a X-Men meets the Matrix kind of story. Got a bunch of cool characters. It's a lot of story. It's an ongoing team book. But yeah, just very reminiscent of like the old stuff that I love. The 90s kind of stuff. I love the X-Men. The X-Men is kind of what got me into comics back in the day. So X-Men holds a special place in my heart. And yeah, I just want to tell good stories, have cool characters, and just have something that people can fall in love with, follow along with, enjoy the characters, have their favorite character, and all that good stuff. Not shoveling snow is nice. Alright, man. Take care. Peace out. Lord Asserman. Man. It is hot in my office. It is hot right now in California. Or just my house. But I am excited. Me and my wife were talking the other night, and she had this brilliant idea of moving my office from the closet, which it is in our bedroom. We have a huge walk-in closet that I've just used as my office. This is where I draw and everything. And she's like, you know what? Why don't we'll move the kids all into our current room, because it's pretty big, and we'll move my office into my daughter's room right now, and we'll take the boys' room. And so I was like, the more I thought about it, I'm like, that is an awesome idea. So once that happens, that'll be awesome. I will have a whole bunch more room. I could put my posters on the wall. I could just really fill that out. I'll have a spot for all my stuff, and it'll just be awesome. It'd be like a dream come true. So hopefully that happens within the next month or so. I was like, if that could happen for my birthday, that would be amazing. So we'll see. And then once that happens, I'll have a lot more space, spread out. I can have my kids on with me. You can check them out. But right now in my little tiny office, it's very hard. So I'm excited about that. Alright, let me do Cogent's face, and then I will take a break. As promised, I will bust out some old sketches of some of the characters from like back in the day when I first created these guys. Check out some old sketches. Alrighty. Cool. As I mentioned yesterday, for those of you who weren't here, there is a fundraiser that we're starting for Comicsgate folks who like all these Comicsgate books that are coming out, but they might be, you know, in a tight spot in their life. They can't afford them. So Poke Fire has the brilliant idea of doing a fundraiser, and people can donate and get cool prizes. I'm donating a Teen Titans print, and you can give money, or if you need it, you can ask for help, and we'll collect money and we will purchase the books for you. Seems like digital is the way we're going to go with that, but you can get your hands on some of the books if you are just in a tight spot and you can't afford it. And that is called Titans Fundraiser. It's currently a Facebook page. You can go on there and check it out. And there is a sign-up form if you want to request a book or something like that. So that's kind of cool. So keep that in mind. Yeah. They mentioned it on Fanspeak earlier tonight. So if you missed that, go on and check it out about that. As well as some other Comicsgate books that are going to be on Indiegogo. And yeah. So. Alright. Mr. Dyron Washington, aka Cogent, looks pretty good to me. Alright. Cool. Alright. So let me bust out some old sketches. I'll show you some of the original concept designs of characters like Brazen and others. So. Now mind you, these are from, some of them are from high school. But it's all good. That'll be fun nonetheless. Alright. So I save all my old sketches and stuff. Not all of them, but a lot of them that have to do with, you know, stories that I've created and things that I want to do eventually. Here is a little tiny piece of paper. A really long ago sketch of Brazen. And at this point, I was kind of, the story I was going with was more of like a fantasy kind of tale. So he looks a lot different, but this was the original and first kind of concept design for Brazen. And I always just draw on whatever paper's laying around. This is probably my dad's. My dad's an auto mechanic, so I probably picked this up and just started drawing on it. But you know, when I have an idea, I start doodling. So that's that. Let me put that away. That's probably greasy. So that was a long ago sketch. Let's see what else we got here. Here's some more current concept designs for Deke, pictured right there. There's Ganon and Deke. Ganon was kind of a quick and easy design for me. I want him to have like the aviator glasses and a bandana around his head, and he will have a trench coat at times, not always. But here's a sketch I did of Deke. So it's changed a little bit, but you can kind of get an idea of his personality. He's kind of the funny guy of the group, always smiling, got small squinty eyes, kind of like me. A scruffy shave. But yeah, he's the guy that flies really fast. He can break the laws of gravity and momentum. So not only can he fly, but, well, he can break the law of gravity, which allows him to get in the air, but having the ability to control momentum is what enables him to actually push himself and fly. So here's a concept design for Cogent, and I'm like, I drew the thing around his neck. I'm like, nah. But I kind of knew I wanted Cogent to be more of like a football player type guy, like a huge guy. And so I wanted this, something around his neck, kind of like the football players have in college and stuff. So wasn't quite sure, but I think it'll be cool. I think I'll add a little bit to his costume and character. So there's that. Let me find some more old school images of Brazen, because it's funny, his transition, I guess. Put this down. So again, here's a really old school pick I did of a team, and again, this has changed a lot. This was like it went from like a fantasy story. Some of the characters, but this here was like a fantasy story. And so Brazen, he's still the leader of this group here. Let me see here. So this guy's Vamp, and Brazen, forget his name. This is Mame and Raze, a chicken, this huge beastie fella. And then there's Mitz. So he's been around a while as well. A guy with a huge cloak. But as you can see, I mean, he's totally different now. This is what he looks like now. But again, it's changed genres. I mean, this was like a fantasy type story I wanted to tell, and now he's become the leader of the superhero team of that story I want to tell. This is Vamp again. He's got swords. He can kind of turn into a mist, a little reminiscent of Backlash, but he's got swords, big knives. Some old school Ninja Turtles for you. But again, old school. This is like high school era. Just doodling, coming up with characters, coming up with designs and concepts, and some of them I reuse, some of them I don't. But yeah, part of the creative process is what I love. Just coming up with characters, coming up with abilities, and and then having a story to put them all in. Let me see if there's any more Brazen. So I think that's it for Brazen, and I will go to more current concept designs for the Shadow Sentry. I'll show you this one. This one is this is one of the villains. Her name is Hopscotch, and she she draws portals with her finger, or with her power, obviously, but she just draws them, and then she can teleport herself and others. But her name is Hopscotch. She's like she's a little younger, kind of immature, bad character. Let's see. I'll show you this one. This guy was on my Patreon page. This is Torture, and he's got torches on his hands. So he's another one of the bad guys. The Hellborn. So there you go. There's a villain. Here is, this is a sketch of Deacon. Deacon is going to be part of they're called the XI Hunters, and they're tasked with hunting down these, they're called XIs, kind of like, instead of extraterrestrial, they're human, so they call them extra intelligent. type folks, and so they're called XIs for short. And so he's part of a government team that will come in later on in the books and be tasked with hunting them down. So I really like his outfit. Again, just doodling on whatever I have at the time. This was a call sheet for my work. So there's that. Another concept line of Deke Express is what I wanted to call him. So he still might go by Express, but they might call him Deke for short. I'm not sure yet. Might just go with Deke. But anyway, so his colors will stay the same: orange and gray and black. I kind of like that. And his costume has changed a little bit. Here, I'll leave this here, and I'll show you a newer design I came up with for him. That's not going to stay. All right, there we go. And you'll notice the style is kind of a little bit simpler there, but so this is my most recent sketch. I've gone back in. This is my sketchbook, and oh, we got a new comment. Orange and black. Curious? Yeah, man. I love orange. Orange is my favorite color. And I'm born in October, so maybe it has something to do with pumpkins. I don't know, but I love orange and black. So this is what I came up with. So I was playing around with stuff. I'm not sure if I wanted to go with like more skin tight legs for him, or do like more cargo pants. Not quite sure, but he does fly really fast, so maybe wind resistance. He might just want to go with the skin tight legs. But here is the kind of pattern that is on his outfit, and then he's got a arrow on his chest there. So, and part of his power is flying really fast, so he crushes through things, blows through buildings and walls and all that kind of stuff. So he's got kind of pads and armor on his arms and stuff there. So that is Deke, also known as Express, and here he is here, just flying in the background up here. So yep. Turn off my computer. All right, what else we got? Keeping going here in the sketchbook. Here's some more sketches of Dyron Washington, aka Cogent. So he's the big strong arm of the team, and I wanted to give him these huge gloves on his hands that kind of just make his hands 5 times as big. And so what's up, Popefire? You're back. So yeah, there's like a cybernetic Cogent. And yeah, just doodling. Again, he's the big guy of the group, so don't want to have big pads on him, little pads, just muscles. Gotta think about all that kind of stuff. Here are some demon sketches that I did. So in the book, obviously it deals with heaven and hell, with the supernatural, which is going to be a big part of the book. So in one of the very first scenes, you see one of the main characters, whose name is Jason. He goes to hell and actually has a near-death experience, and so he comes face to face with one of these guys. So I wanted to do some sketching and some just preliminary designs of what a demon might look like. So here's a few of them. He looks kind of mean and nasty, right? So I like this one the best, I think. But anyway, yeah, there's some demons. Here's a character design for somebody that might come in later on. But he's a big dude. There you go. Little sneak peek there. Let's see what else I got for you. Okay, so this is Jason. I'll show you Jason. He plays a big role in the book. I haven't really talked about him too much. I don't want to give too much away of his character. But he's like the young guy that the story follows, and he's the way kind of to introduce the Shadow Sentry to you. And he's got a backstory that will just kind of, I hate skinny jeans, but baggy pants will fly off through speeds. Exactly. That's what I was thinking. So, and I could change it up. And one of the things I want to do with the Shadow Sentry, I want to show them in plain clothes a lot too. Like, I want to show that they're just ordinary people with these abilities. They weren't born with them. They're just like me and you, but they had a near-death experience, and when they came back, they had these crazy abilities. So that's important to me. I want to do that. I want to have them in plain clothes a lot. And so And when you do see them, there's more context to it, which you'll get in the book. But yeah, so that's Jason. And then this is Glare. This is the female of the team, Glare right there. Boom. So coming up with her design was cool. This is her just plain clothes, but she's like a beautiful woman, and you know, I wanted to have her, like what is she gonna look like in plain clothes? So there's an image of that, just kind of doodling and sketching with stuff. And for her look, here is the final sketch I came up with for her. So this was the final one I kind of landed on. Here's one, two, some different designs. Oh no, go back to her. She's pretty. So this is still her, but this is her in her fighting outfit. So Glare, her power is light. Her and not in a sense of like just I glow. Well, there's more to it than that. When she glows, there's reasons, and she can do things with the light to kind of like peer into your mind, into your heart, and kind of meddle around in there a little bit, and read your mind or manipulate things a little bit. So, but she can also be really bright and kind of shine light as well. So she's a multifaceted character, but I'm glad you think she's pretty, Popefire. So that is Glare. And one more time, this is her with plain clothes on. Plain clothes Glare. So, yep. And a lot of these sketches I do in ballpoint pen. Don't know why. Just probably from when I was really young in my dad's garage, and there was a pen around, I had an idea, I would just sketch and doodle. So, anyway, yeah. And I don't know if Adrian is in here tonight with us, but he was asking to see how I do my layouts and kind of like there you are. What's up, Adrian? I found that sketch I wanted to show you of the preliminary sketch for this piece that I'm working on. So let me show you that. So this is an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, and I just split it in half and then kind of did some doodles, and then when I figured out the one I wanted to do, I finished it in ballpoint pen. And so I took this, and this is the red lines underneath of this image that you see. It's this here. So I blew this up, and then I'm inking it for Riziel. And what's up, Sean? Rolling. How you feeling, Adrian? Sounds great. Awesome, man. So yeah. So and then here's another sketch. It's kind of light. I apologize, but you can see, like I was saying, kind of more straight up and down. Kind of everybody circled around him. More of a stoic, kind of static layout, and that's why I wanted to go with this more action, kind of better feeling to it. So there was another one I did. I was gonna do a double page spread actually with like all the characters, Jason and Noble and all those guys, but I ran into Edwin's in Hawaii. Kind of a little story. Last month was the Hawaii Comic-Con, or it's called Amazing Hawaii, and Hurricane Lane was going through at that time, and so they ended up canceling the convention at like the last minute, and my family and I were planning on going and then spending the rest of the week in Hawaii. And so with all the craziness, I mean, the hurricane hit that same weekend. Like the convention was supposed to start on Friday and go to Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and the hurricane ended up like hitting, well, it didn't actually hit, but hit the Big Island, but not Oahu. And so they canceled the convention altogether. And so we went anyway, and I ran into Edwin Boyette, and got to see him, got to show him some sketches, and so he was like, Eric, I think you should go with this one. This one's good. So that is the story how I ended up going with this design for my first. This will be the first promo art for the Shadow Sentry. So there you go. Popefire wants me to go back to the girl. Let me see if I have any more sketches though first. Let me see here. Alright, so here's some more sketches of Brazen. Sorry, Popefire. I will get back to her, I promise. So here's Brazen again. But this is more for the Shadow Sentry deal. So he's the leader. I was gonna give him Scruff, but then I'm like, I don't know. Thinking about leaders I like, kind of like Cyclops and Spartan from the Wildcats. They don't really have Scruff, so I'm like, I'm gonna leave off the Scruff. But he's got his sword here. One of his arms, his sword wielding hand is gonna have a cool gauntlet on it. Maybe not quite like that, but something like that. And then you should ink out the other one too. Can't have too much promotional art. Yeah, that's true. Which one are you referring to? Which one should I ink out? Cyclops is the best. Yeah. So here's like again, I cut this out because I drew it somewhere, and then I just, just doodling. Lots of gear. I love gear on my characters. So there's that. Lots of straps. Can't have too many straps. So that's Brazen. He is the leader. That's him right there. Cool wild hair, no scruff, nice and clean cut. And there you go. Alright, what else? Sketches of his sword. What's his sword gonna look like? Just a bunch of sword designs. There's a Jim Lee Captain America that I printed out because I like Jim Lee. But here's a bunch of different designs of swords and stuff that I went through for Brazen because he is a sword wielding guy. And his sword is not of earth. It is an angelic sword. I'll just say that. All the 90s comic kids like their gear. Yes. Yes, we do. So anyway, what else I got here? Going through sketches. Alright, some more sketches of... This might be hard to see, but here's like a blue line sketch of Cogent. What he's gonna look, or how tall he's gonna be, how big he's gonna be, kind of like stuff like that. I don't even know if you can see that, but that's what that is. Let's see here. Here is a really old sketch. Again, this is from something totally different. This is like another story or something I was gonna do, but I kind of like the big gloves, since that's why I saved this for Cogent. And there's another dude got some big gloves and stuff, but this is old. This is probably high school or something, but just doodling. As you can tell, I've come a long way. Here is Dyron Washington again, Cogent. So, yep. Big dude. Down. Alright, I think that will do it. Here's another character. Okay, here's an old one. Another old school image of some of the characters. Brazen there in the middle. He's changed a lot, obviously. And then there's Mitz. Again, he's been around for a while. And another ballpoint pen sketch from probably high school. Oh, look at that. It's on the back of my Spanish homework. Oh, that's why I never really got good at Spanish. Buenos dias. Hey, I know that one. Buenos tardes. Buenos noches. Okay, I know a few of them. But anyway, there's that. I think that is it. And I will stop there, and I will show you the girl one more time, Popefire, because you asked so nicely. And you're a nice person, and you said nice things about me today. Thank you so much on Fanspeak. Alright, so one more time. This is Glare. That's her battle uniform, and then plain clothes Glare we got there. So there you go. Some sketches. And too, when I'm sketching, I have to sometimes do like action poses when I'm doing the concept designs for the outfits, because it's easy to just draw a figure standing there and then draw the costume over them, but I want to know how it's going to look when they're jumping, when they're flying, when they're doing whatever. So anyway, so a lot of times when I'm sketching, I'll draw the character in different positions, different poses, and then that's how I kind of work out the design and everything for their costume. So there you go. That is Glare. Some more Jason again. Yeah, kind of getting different, how I want him to look. He's going to be younger. He's about 17, 18. So, like, that's probably a little too young. Kind of looks like Tom Holland there. But, you know, he's going to have a little... it's got to have some attitude to him. And, yeah. So there you go. So that's Jason. And that name has changed multiple times, I'll tell you that. Because at first it was going to be Braden. And then I was going to call him... What was the other name? Gavin. And then I was like, no, I think it needs to be just something simple, something easy like Jason. So, just spelled differently. Jasen. So, there you go. Cool deal. And there are a lot more sketches I could show you, but I'll save that for another time. And there's a lot more characters too, so I'll save that for another day. Ugh. So I hope you enjoyed that trip back through memory lane there. Good old sketches. Deacon is... He is... I'll say he's good. But he's part of the XI hunters, so they're tasked with hunting down these characters, these, you know, superpowered people. So yeah. So, you know, I have a cool story worked out for him. So yeah, that's all I'll say about that. But yeah, he's a cool character. All right, let me pull up something on my computer real quick, and I will show you another character design I did for Deacon, which I hope you will dig. So give me a second. Let me pull that up, because he is, of all the characters I've designed, I do like them all. But Deacon is like one of those characters that's like, oh yeah, like this guy, he's definitely gonna be some people's favorite character for sure. So let me pull that up, and I'll show you that real quick. I did it digitally, so I gotta show you on my computer. So let me find that. Comics. Shadow Sentry. Alright, give me 1 second. So, to my computer. Oh. So I don't know how well you're gonna be able to see this, but I did it like a dossier when I pitched this book to a friend of mine. Let me see here, dossier. But you can go on my Patreon page. If you go on my website, ericnotowskiart.com, and you click on my Patreon logo, you can see a copy of this. It's actually online, but there's a dossier with all the characters. Let me pull this up. So this is like a, you know, dossier on each of the characters, a little bit about them, their name, their code name, all that kind of stuff. Again, some more sketches of the characters, things like that. And let me see. So we got Brazen. Oh, no, that's not it. There's Ganon. There's the trench coat. Somebody asked me if I was going to have a guy with a trench coat. Yep, he'll show up in a trench coat from now and then. But his style is more like punk. And so I thought that was kind of cool. Not a lot of characters have a punk kind of style. Although, well, I don't think the style that some of the Marvel characters have today would be considered punk. Maybe just more like emo, but anywho, he's like a cool gun-wielding punk dude, so with a lot of attitude. So there's Ganon. There's Noble at the top. He is the number one in charge of the Shadow Sentry. And there's Darren Washington again, Cogent, whose power is to control momentum. And then Deke, and then there's some of the villains. Got Hopscotch down there, Torture, who I showed you earlier, and then Ember. Crusty old fiery dude. Alright, Pope. Peace out. And there's the top sheet. Top secret classified. Okay, so let me find Deacon here, which I promised you. Alright, let me find his outfit. Where'd I put it? Characters, XI Hunters, art. Here we go. Here it is. So let me quick look this. Adrian, am I self-taught? 50-50. No, I don't know. I started drawing in elementary school and just never really stopped. And went to art college, did art in high school, all through high school and stuff. So I mean, that part of my years was being self-taught, looking at comic books, drawing what I saw, and constantly creating, creating my own characters and stuff and all that. And went to art college, which was a 2-year art school, and they had an affiliate with Pratt in the Corcoran. And if you're familiar with any art colleges, Pratt is in New York, and it's like one of the biggest art colleges probably in the nation. And so it was kind of like, all right, well, let me go to the Delaware College of Art and Design and kind of get my foot in the door, and then I can go to Pratt if I wanted to. So I never made it that far, but it was the school is for illustration, animation, fine art, photography, and what was cool about the school is that I got to kind of do all that stuff. So I had to take a photography class, had to take fine art. So yeah, so I got to learn all those different kind of things, which was really good. I think it made me a well-rounded artist, and so yeah. But anyway, long story, not short. But here's Deacon, and I number one, I wanted to do a cool mask for this character, and I may or may not do the thing that slides down in front of his face to cover his whole face. I kind of like the profile of just having the thing here and just covering him there. But he's very kind of ninja-like, and so this was the kind of concept design I came up with. And it's actually funny. My pastor's son, he's like my biggest fan, but he comes up to me one day and he gives me this because I think I was drawing this character, and so he gives me this, and like he saw my character and he just came up with this. I'm like, dude, that is awesome. So I took part of what he did and I meshed it with my Deacon character, and that's how I came up with this guy. So let me zoom in a little bit for you. So this is Deacon, and he's one of my favorites. But because of politics and where I live, I had a hard time trying to find work. Sorry to hear that, man. Yeah, graphic design seems like it would be a hard field to get into. And, right? And this is pretty cool. I don't know how old he was at the time, but, I mean, yeah, this was just, like, totally cool. So, anyway, I took this one day to church and I showed him, and he was just, like, thrilled, so. But anyway, there's some more of Deacon. I'm excited to get to that part of the story. That would be probably more towards the second arc when you start seeing more of the XI hunters. The first arc will be with just kind of introducing the characters, getting you familiar with the heroes and the villains, and getting you, what's going on, who Jason is, and all that good stuff. So, so you plagiarized Deacon from a child. No. No, I showed him my artwork, and so he ran with it and kind of created that guy. And to be to give him some skin in the game, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna use what he showed me and kind of make something of that. And I thought that'd be really cool for him. And so yeah, he'll see his creation in a comic book, hopefully someday soon. So, anywho, I don't even think he's really into comic books, but he follows all the Marvel movies and stuff. So, but either way, I think he'd be really, really happy. So anyway, so I guess if Deacon does make it big, I might have to pay that kid royalties or something. We'll see. But he's a cool kid. Maybe he won't care. So anyway, almost going on an hour. I could draw some more, or we could talk some more. Whatever you guys want to do. Ask me some questions, or tell me to say goodnight, and I'll leave you guys alone. But yeah, I'll ink a little bit more. Let me know if you have any questions about the story. Yeah, exactly. That is a problem. They're into the movies, and I think they would be more than willing to pick up a comic, but they just don't market them to the kids. I showed these yesterday. These are comic books from Wendy's, from like a kid's meal from 1995, and they come with 3D glasses and everything. And actually, I was looking through them today, showing my kids. But Neil Adams did these books, and it's Gulliver's Travels and 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. But I mean, Marvel could totally do this kind of stuff. Marvel, McDonald's, kids meals. How many freaking places have stuff for kids? You know, you could just mark that way. Um, you know. But anyway, the movies are getting bad. Yeah. Hopefully they don't get too bad yet. Hopefully that's a slow spiral. Yeah, definitely aren't. Sean, you're not trying hard enough, man. uh, what are they into? They're probably into like Legos and stuff, right? All that other stuff. Yeah, my son's reading The Hobbit right now, which I'm really stoked for. He's 8 years old, and so when he does his extra reading, he reads The Hobbit, and then we watched My Little Pony. um, yeah, we watched the first Hobbit movie, so that was fun. It's like a daddy dream come true. So yeah, Lego is huge, and they've got so many properties, and yeah, and they got the what's the Lego Friends, that thing for girls now. So that's cool. Make her own comics. That's awesome. That's what I'm talking about. Sean, you need to talk to Adrian. Come on now. Cool. All right. Let me do some more ink in here. Do. But yeah, man. I was watching Fanspeak earlier, and I'm just excited, man. The Comicsgate movement is being like moved by the fans and by people who really care, and it's organic, and that's why I think it's going to last a long time. And we're talking about the Comics Titans Fundraiser, which we're going to do to raise money for people who want to buy the Comicsgate books that they can't afford. And Pope Fire just kind of thought that up and wanted to do that, and it's just it's just organic. It's just people who love comics that want to make comics great again, for lack of a better term. But it's awesome, and so I'm really excited about it and excited to be a part of it. So thank you all for letting me be a part of it and showing your support. And thanks for the endorse Eric hashtag Popefire. So anyway, Mist cloak is going to be all black, so I don't know if I'm just going to do it all in ink or if I could invert it in Photoshop or something, but I don't know. I haven't figured that part out yet. So I'm just going to ink him. I could do all black and then go in with white out. I could simply trace the white lines that I want to have knocked out, but it just takes a while. But that's probably what I'm going to end up doing. That's kind of what I'm doing right now. But anywho. Alright, well, I think I will stop here. I will not be on tomorrow night. I'm going to do a game night with my family. Should be fun. I will probably be back on here next week on Tuesday, I'll say. Mondays are bad just because my wife works all day, and I'll be home with the kids. And it's hard to do this with the kids. So, alright. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I look forward to next week, and I hope you guys have a great weekend. And I'm excited about autumn almost being here, and I hope you guys just are blessed. Enjoy your families. Have a great weekend. And till next time. Oh, I got some more comments. What'd I miss? My great niece is a Batman and Robin fanatic. I watched Thor fly his ship up the devil's anus today. What? What was that? I watched Thor fly his ship up the devil's anus today. What happened? What'd I miss? What pens do I use? Night Eric. Humphrey Bear. What's up, man? Adrian, to answer your question, I use Micron pens. Let's see here. So I got the Micron inking pens. This is called Bimoji. It's Japanese. I get these from Hobby Lobby. This is the brush I use. I mean, check this thing out. It's pretty cool. but the point is just like, it's awesome. It doesn't really mess up. You know, when the ink runs out, it's kind of lame. But so I might just have to get a regular brush. I was talking to Mike about that the other night, and you know, just do the inkwell, dip it, brush it, and all that. You know, these are kind of expensive. It'll probably save me money if I do, but this is what I'm using right now. So, yep. I have the pens, but not the brush. Yeah, I don't. Yep, Bimoji. I don't use the Micron brush just because it's not. It's nothing like this. Like this holds the point. The Micron brushes I haven't found to hold the point that well. And what I do use them for actually is when I do dry brush effects. So I hold on to it for that. So you know it tends to flatten out. It's thicker, and then I could just do like cool dry brush effects with it if I want to do that. So I do hold on to them for that. But yeah, this is a really good brush. They also have like nibs on them too. This is a thicker one. I can use this for laying down thick blacks. Let's see here. This one is they have a fine, they have a medium, and then like an extra fine, I think. So this one's a little bit thicker. But yeah, but they're in Japanese, so you know you kind of have to find them and look at them like, okay, which one is this? I don't speak Japanese, so they have this cool little hook on there. You can hang it on your wall if you want or something. So yeah, man. And then for lots of blacks, I'll use a Prismacolor marker. It's you know, what do they call it? It's not gonna fade on you. It's a hold on, archival ink. So I used to do Sharpie, and then it's like, well, no, I can't use Sharpie because that's gonna fade. So use the Mega Microns. Yeah. So, anywho, that is what I use. And so I try and, you know, get that kind of crow quill look with my Microns, kind of fake it. But I might start having to try and do the real deal and see how I can do. So anyway, I will work some more on this. Hopefully next time I see you, I'll be getting more complete. And yeah. Cool. Alright guys, thanks again for tuning in. Till next time, be blessed, have a good night, and a great weekend. And maybe I'll see you guys on another YouTube channel or something. I'll pop in and say hey. But alright guys, good night, and thanks again. Peace.